July 17th. But let's talk about today. So today, Gavin, who loves to cook, is going to celebrate the best of British cuisine by making a traditional English dish called kedgeree from his home kitchen. Hey, Gavin, how are you today?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
Good. Good to see you again.
I know. We're making a habit of this. It's great.
It's
Thanks for
great.
having me again. I must have got
Oh,
it right last time.
oh, yeah, you did so right last time. It was awesome. Big fans over here. So how have you been? Tell us about what you're making today and what's been going on since we last spoke.
Well, since we last spoke, I had a record out in this crazy time, and that was a challenging thing. We did this online huge production show, um, and huge production. And oh, that's Pete. That's Pete. Good Pete. See, if there's a problem, ask Pete. 1-800-Pete. He's got it. Thanks, Pete. Just been trying to do different things to just bring attention to the record. Been doing a lot of lives online, and just different promotion around the world, radio stations, all that stuff, you know. And as I said, we did this really number of shows with all these sort of great backdrops and all this stuff for different places like Kerrang, MTV, all these different outlets, different sources. And so it's been really good. It's been really good. But now, I don't know. We have to wait till we ever go on tour again. So we look forward to that. And you're asking me something English today. So I was like, ooh, English in 45 minutes. I think, because when I think of English, I think like roast beef, all those kind of things, you know, cottage pie, shepherd's pie. And then I was thinking, well, I've got no time to do that. So I decided to do this dish, kedgeree, which is a traditional, it's an Indian dish originally, I think. And I've been in this rabbit hole of kedgeree. It's crazy, really, really good. But like, everybody's got their way of doing it. It's really hard to find smoked haddock in Los Angeles. People really aren't into the smoked fish. Because traditionally you're really meant to cook it, you cook this fish in the water with bay leaf, wait till it's cooked, and then you use that water to cook the rice. And then you just sort of add spices, Indian spices, and then eggs and fish. So I'm doing a salmon one, and I cook the basmati rice in this guy. It's like, it looks really simple, but it's really tricky cooking rice properly. You have to do this soaking. So I had to start this bit earlier. So this is like really, gets super fluffy, and that rice is now happy. I did include a recipe for everyone. I hope it works, but I think it works for me. But I used fish stock because I couldn't find smoked fish. I got salmon, super light, it's in season. We're in Los Angeles, you know, a little easier to get that. So basically, it was salmon. Have you heard of it before?
I have not heard of it, and I have lived in the UK off and on for many years. So I'm very curious as to what exactly this is. Maybe you could explain a little bit about it.
Okay, so it's really simple. It's like fish and rice, smoked fish and rice. I cook the salmon because get that going. So I use a little grapeseed oil, so it's like flavorless, you know, and it's got a high smoke content. You don't want it to pan too hot. I've probably got it too hot when you're talking. That's what you do. Because if you go too fast with salmon, you get that albumin, you know, the white stuff that's around the side of fish. You can brine it if you're really uptight about it. That's not about right. You can brine it, get rid of it. So I'll turn on too fast on that. And then the rest of it really is just putting together these spices. I found out loads of things, like for instance, all the recipes called the curry powder. But actually that's super, for an Indian person, that's kind of racist. It's a bit like saying Chinese food and chopped food. It's because it's like, there's so many things that go into their spices. Garam masala is really that's the right phrase. I mean, that's always a different balance, depending on the cook, depending on what you're eating. So I'll show you what I've done. I apologize to any Indians, I don't need to offend anyone, you've got to be careful. But everywhere it says curry powder. Basically, going to just chop up some garlic now. onion and garlic, always the basis of everything. Basis of everything. And I would throw these spices. I have turmeric, I have curry powder, and I have cumin. And the turmeric gives a really nice color. Because if you only careful not to use too much of it, so here's my thing. The fish is cooking nice. I'll be putting up the heat for a second. It's really flaky. My dad used to make it, okay? And when I was growing up. And as a kid, you know what I mean? You see rice. You just wanted to have rice and meat. And so having smoked fish was really like, oh man. So when I said I'd do it, someone was thinking, do I even like it? Why should I like it? So I made it a couple of days. Just to try it out. And I think I found a way to like it. But everyone's got such different ways of doing it, like everything. It really was a kedgeree rabbit hole I was in. I've been in a kedgeree rabbit hole. But since I'm not on tour, I guess I've got the time. But I have been doing homeschooling with my kids as well. That's been crazy. I don't think they're learning very much. Just hanging out online.
What does that look like?
What's it look like? Well, three rooms, 3 boys, and like doing their thing, you know, doing their thing. I'm going to start with this now, the Nick. Yeah, what does it look like? It's 8:30 to 3. It's too long. Who wants to sit there for that amount of time, you know? And so I go to the bathroom and I stand there, and to be honest, on the side, I don't even learn anything. Because it's like, it's have to wait for everyone to talk. And I don't know, I'm not sure about it. I'm not into it. But they have to do it, right? But the flip is beautiful with the salmon.
How's Zuma doing, by the way?
Say what?
How's Zuma doing? Oh, you went off. We've got a technical glitch, I think. There he is.
So yeah, everyone's been great. We had, you know, trying to make the best of summer, staying home, you know. So here we go with this guy. So it's a simple butter. Butter can go in soon. The onion here, onion and garlic, a little butter. Butter makes everything better. Nigella Lawson called it a mood enhancer. I think it's brilliant, that. And it does enhance the mood. Get this fry going.
Now, is this a dish that reminds you of your childhood?
Yeah, it's a dish my dad used to make, you know, and so it's totally reminds me of that. I think my sister is watching it, Lorraine. She's a really good cook. I love being in the kitchen, and she grew up with it too. But you might be, you know, I might get a bit of criticism afterwards how she would have done it, you know. It's like decorating. Everybody's got a different way of doing it. I think as long as when you finish your plate up, it tastes really good, then what's the problem?
Now, how often do you make this nowadays?
How what?
How often do you make this now at home?
Never. I haven't made it ever. Never. I used to
Really?
when you were like, do something English, and I was like, okay, that's a good one. So look, you have a little bit of turmeric.
Oh, Gavin, there's some comments from people saying they can't hear you that well.
Right, okay, well, I'll try and speak up. I mean, it's always hard when we're cooking, but so you got cumin, turmeric, curry powder. That goes in. Mix it all together, make this wonderful paste. And it really is fragrant. I mean, it really smells like legit, you know? There you are. Salmon's getting there. Got to check the salmon. This is the way I fry it. It's got to be warm on your lips, you know, and you pierce it with a knife. That's how we know about the fish. Being ready. With that. And maybe I've got a little bit of smoked salt. This is smoked salt because it's going to be smoked fish, and I kind of go a bit more heat up, so a little smoked flavor in there. Good. I made some fancy sultanas, golden raisins. So I just pickled. That's going to go in there. Get this fish up. Side. So it reminds me of like the sweet traditional English. I mean, as I say, I've made it forever. I never really made it. So this week, I was like, oh, shoot, I'm going to make that now. And it's been kind of fun doing it. The first time I made it, I was like, oh, do I really like it? I wasn't sure about it. But I do like it now. I found a way to, some people put cream in it, and I put that in the recipe as optional, but I don't know, when I put the cream in one of them, it just sort of gets a bit heavy and take away all that work, because the rice has to be, the rice really has to be soaked, you know, for half an hour. Then you have to run the water through it to get it to be nice and fluffy, else it won't fluff. That. You know, these things, like they did say that chicken korma is the most famous or British dish that's cooked the most. You know, there was always that. I didn't realize. I've been really into beans recently. A lot of plant-based food, and I was out somewhere. I found this farm shop. They were growing these black beans, these white beans, these other little like Indian runner beans, crazy beans, and making all these stews and stuff like that, and soups. I was feeling really good and like, you know, healthy. And then they were, it was like, cook something English. I'm like, well, that's just baked beans and sugar. That's not really good. That's not really good. So
Looks
now,
healthy.
so this now we'll just take this lovely basmati rice. It's really flavored. It's really fluffy. So I don't want to put the cream in it. Some people are going to kill me, and a lot of people put cream in there. But you know what? It's all right to not put cream. You do anything you like, right? Who cares what you do?
It's California British.
Yeah, well, you know, like I'm still really English through and through, but it's like, you know, if you can't get the smoked fish, you got to think twice. So now this goes around. This really looks. So that's just a step one. I don't know if you see that. So it now colors all the rice. Now the rice is super colored, beautiful yellow. I feel like Gordon Ramsay and beautiful. I love Gordon Ramsay. He's such an inspiration, right?
And?
Perfect. It's so weird because, like, in some ways, I really like it like this. There's no pressure. It could taste terrible, and you wouldn't know. I'd be like, oh my god, it could taste really crappy, but it doesn't. It doesn't. It tastes really good. So that's the smoked salt. I don't know if it even works, but I think it does. Oh yeah, even more salt. Salt is so great with it. There's a bit of a kick. You know, you put as much curry powder as you want, make it as hot as you want, you can do anything you want with it. So now I'm going to take a couple of these like sultanas, you know, golden raisins, and I just cook them in white wine vinegar and sugar and chili. And so people do use sultanas in them. And I just was thinking, this old living, I've got to step it up a little bit. I can't just give them the common garden one, you know.
Excellent.
Got to give it a little edge, you know. You guys are famous for your edge. You've got an E on oat. So a few of them, just to kind of, you know, I like flavor bombs. You know what I mean? Got to get a flavor bomb in there. So then, just push this around like this. And around like this, and then I get the, I need to get another plate. You can sit there, the sound, not very legit. There you go, you can sit there for a sec, get a plate. This guy comes. Get hot, kids, get hot.
Now, what wine would you pair this with?
This would be like a dry white, like a really good lot of dry white. Sancerre, you know, something crisp. And you know, for me, I don't know how it's for you, but wine has to be cold. It has to be really cold. And so, and it's going to break the heat with this. I think I put a few more tomatoes on there because they look really nice and they taste really good. get a handful of these bad boys. My hands are very clean. I do nothing but clean my hands. And we could have had a dish with ants. You know, if we've been a sort of a, I don't know, some kind of like, you know, dish from another country, because we've got so many ants in California that I really could have made use of them in some kind of cooking, but they're everywhere. You notice that? Where are you guys? You're not in California. We have hot weather and ants. Gross.
Definitely not.
Literally, I have to kill about 10,000 ants before I can have coffee. Really, I really don't like it. So now we just take this fish, we're going to remove, we don't need the skin, even though the skin's perfect. Later, time, save it. And you can have this dish hot or cold, you know, doesn't really matter. Just flake it up in pieces. It's really just really nice and tender, just slightly little undercooked. Like, because everything, like I've got the eggs, I like the eggs slightly runnier because I don't want to, so this, you know, just place the salmon around, the salmon on this dish. It's really simple, but you know, it's like if you put love and care and attention in every ingredient, it's really, you can elevate it, like anything, you know. I think when you take simple food and you really respect every ingredient and you give it a lot of TLC and care, and each element of this dish is quite thought, is, you know, I don't know, it's got a lot of love, each area of this dish. I think it's enough. Salmon, really. Quite a bit, not too much. Right there. Here. Now I did some eggs. Let's see these, and I would just do the smoked salt with that. You know, everyone has their own style. Like I like them a little tiny bit give. Like if I'm doing it with my kids, like don't make them like soft. So they're not here today. So these just like, they just have that little glisten. You know, like the worst one is the chalky one, where you can't talk after you've had a bite of it, because it gets in the top of your throat, like eating oatmeal without any, you know, without anything else. So a little bit of smoked salt on top here to just maintain that thing, then just place, of course, that's around. I like everything bite-sized, you know. I'm into bite-sized. I don't know what you guys like, but I think the bite-size is where it's at. Looking a little messy here. If anybody wants the last one, they know that I can't stand it. These are like crazy, like they're messy. But that's probably my OCD side, you know. So I watch all these amazing cooks, and I just sort of see so many people. They just, you know, it's all about keeping the clean of the food, the clean of the kitchen, the clean of the food.
That looks beautiful.
Yeah, it's coming together. It's not yeah. That can go there, something like that. Maybe one more piece here. That goes there. That's all right. Put this bad boy over here. So it's kind of quite simple. I think it's the soaking the rice is really essential, whatever you pick the rice. And now we just clean that off. Nice clean kitchen. And so the next, oh, can I get a lemon? One lemon. Got to have a nice squeeze of lemon on there. I got some sumac. Does anyone know sumac out there? This is the Northeast African, Middle Eastern. It's incredible, thank you. And that is, it's the most incredible berry, and they grind it down because it's like a real lemony, citrusy flavor. And so I'm going to dress it. This is the last final pieces of it. Got some coriander, some parsley. Yeah, so as you can see, I don't know, I hope it's in the time. Last time we had all the time in the world. Today it was like, okay, it's 45 minutes, like a TV show. So I want to just make it so it just really all sits beautifully. And we're in time. How's my timing doing?
You're great.
Oh, the timing. Oh, good. It's a bit of pressure because, you know, I'm a musician. So doing this kind of stuff is really like, oh my Lord. I woke up this morning going, why did I say there's so much pressure? I want to play music. But I do like it. I do like it. Thank you for asking me again.
Oh, we love having you.
And, it's like everything. I guess that through quarantine, like people finding different things about themselves and about other people. Like, you know, I never had the opportunity or reason to uh, to for people to know that I like to cook. You know, I post a little bit on Instagram, but not really that much. Plus, I don't, you know. So what do people know? But here we go. They know now.
How much time have you spent in the kitchen kind of perfecting your cooking skills?
Well, when I'm cooking for my kids all the time, it's actually it's a lot. It's a lot, but I like it. You know, it's really communal. As I mentioned it before, I think it was on his. Like, I think it's really wonderful to like sit and have dinner every night with my kids, and you know, that's where you know, so much happiness comes from the table and eating together and finding out about what's going on. And, you know, I've just recently been having a lot with Kingston's band, Sex Ed. They, my 14-year-olds, so they've been here for dinner. It's quite a laugh sitting around with all this, you know, finding out about how little they're paying to online school. It's fun. It's fun.
Are they sad to be missing this?
Say what?
Are they sad to be missing this dish?
Are they what?
Sad to be missing it? Are they going to?
Oh no, I don't think so. They'll be right. So this is the sumac. I don't want to read it on there. But that's the sumac. And it has this really exotic. It's like it's so weird because it's so lemony. You use a lot of like tabbouleh and things like that. It's really. It just picks it up. When I first tried it, and you just always put it on at the end. It's just this lovely, really pretty spice like that. Like that. Cut some lemon wedges, and I think that's about all I can do in this dish. But I'm going to try and cut this through. Squeeze. Lemon makes everything better. Lemon, butter, salt. That's it. Makes life so much better. I recommend everyone put lemon and salt and butter on their lunch. Beautiful. 2 lemon wedges like this. Side.
What would you do here as an appetizer and a dessert?
Oh, goodness. Here goes the sort of final touches here. I mean, this could go with, I mean, this is an entire meal. That's what's really nice about it. When you do it and you're not under pressure on TV and put it on like silly sultanas on there. You can, you know, just it's a one dish thing, and that's plenty really. You can put a nice green salad with it to go, you know, to cut through. I think it's always nice to have a salad. This is just some chili flakes because why not? And I think it's really good to put the green salad with it to cut against it because it's quite, you know, it's got a bit of a kick. I put 2 teaspoons of curry powder in there because I like it a little bit you know, more spicy, a little bit more of a kick. And but that's what's the beauty of it. You know, people just like to find out their own thing and do it their own way. It's really nutritious. It's really pretty healthy. And that's it. My kedgeree for you.
Beautiful. That was so fast too. Gorgeous. And
So
we're providing to everybody.
I remember last time I resisted telling you what it smelled like because we've heard that when people go, if only you could smell it. So it is really good and nutritious, healthy, and all in 45 minutes. So there's my kedgeree. Where should I put it to?
Are you going to resist the smell thing again? Come on, try. What does it smell like?
What does it taste like?
What does it smell like and taste like?
It smell like? Oh, well, it smells a bit like tea. What does it smell like? Can you tell me? Reminds him of an Indian restaurant. And when we were growing up, me and Pete grew up together, we used to go when we were kids after the pub, we used to call it floating a curry. If you also go to float a curry, so you drink like, you know, 4 pints of beer and then have a curry. So he smelled a bit like that. And I thought my kids would be a bit annoyed yesterday because they heard yesterday. They'd be like, what's that? But they didn't. And so just smells warm and inviting and like beautiful Indian food. It's very mild, super healthy. Plenty of good. I was looking at Fergus Henderson's St. John's, my favorite restaurant, and he, in his cookbook, Nose to Tail Eating, he says he's talking about his kedgeree, which is really simple, but it's cooked in the water with a fish, smoked fish, and he says with loads of good white wine. It's pretty much the mantra for anything, really, isn't it? Makes everything better. Makes everything better. But yeah, I never made it, and maybe I'll start making it for my kids now. You know, yeah, it's really pretty. I would eat that. I will eat that. You know,
Does it make you nostalgic for the UK? Does it make you miss it at all?
no, it makes me sweet memories of my dad. You know, it was his big thing when he had like parties or whatever like that. He would love to make that, and I'm sure my mum makes it. My mum's an amazing cook as well, but I just always specifically remember my dad liking it, and just sort of that was his thing to make it for like people coming around. It was also like a signal that people coming around was a social occasion, good times, and so therefore I have lots of memories to me on that level. And he was an amazing cook, so I'm sure that I didn't quite match his, but definitely on the way. And you know, you can imagine if you put cream in it. I don't know what I did. I tried it the other day when I was doing a test run, and then I saw everyone was putting cream, and I put cream in it. And obviously cream is really good, but I don't know. This is light and fluffy. So that's it. I don't know what else to tell you about it. It's there's lots of ways of doing it, but smoked haddock is the traditional, or kippers. You know, that's the really the traditional way, but not so much here in Los Angeles. Right?
Well, maybe we can talk a little bit about the fact that you had your album come out. So how has that been? Are you happy that it's out, and how's the reception been?
Reception's been incredible. I mean, it's been so weird because it's called The Kingdom, and it's meant to be this idea about a place for like-minded people. I had a few people in my life who were super judgmental, super self-righteous. You know, they always go together, like twin towers of idiocy. And I just had enough of that. So I was thinking about that a lot. And you know, I wrote Bullet Holes, was this little John Wick soundtrack that I was talking about, which is very prescient because it had the whole race wars, Star Wars, mind wars. So it had the whole Black Lives Matter movement ingrained in it because we'd seen it from Charlottesville. It had the isolation on flowers on a grave that everyone was feeling. So somehow I just, and now The Kingdom, which is the current single that's out now, is just about this uprising for the betterment of us all, and a you know, combined peaceful combination of people, you know, like peaceful protests, you know. And so it's strange. I feel a lot of pressure because if I'm going to make the next record, which apparently I have to pretty soon, because I don't know, it just comes out now. You can't go and tour it. So they go, might as well make another one. It's like another one. It's like I'm like at the foot of the mountain. I am at the foot of a new mountain. So I got to think about now starting to write and get all that stuff going. And normally when a record comes out, you feel really, you feel greatly, as a songwriter, it's like sabbatical. You don't have to write, you don't have to think about it. Otherwise, most of the time, I have to think about stuff all the time. Lyrics, ideas, themes, what matters to me, who's hurt my feelings, who's pissed me off, you know, all that stuff, you know, that navel gazing. And I got to start it all over again. So that's a bit strange, but you know, people have got some really, I mean, you can't really believe too much what you read, else you know, if you look at the comments that are great about you, then you got to accept the ones that are bad about you. So my trick is I just don't look at the comments. I just sort of take the pictures that are all right and just hear about it. I think, was it a win or was it a loss or was it a draw? You know, it sounds like an article like that on review. So I don't know, you know, what the future holds, what the next record will be, but it's exciting to think that maybe next year when we go on tour, will that ever happen? I don't know. That we'll have all this record, and maybe it'll be a new record. It's a bit like the Traffic Channel records, but we'll see. You know, You know what's the funny thing is people are asking me, like, I know when we'll play live again. Like, I work for the CDC or something like that. It's like, you're in a band, you must really know. When is the touring world? It's like, it's messed up for everyone. And I haven't minded it, really. It's been amazing to be home. Spent a lot of time with my kids, a lot of time just being here. I've never been here in the summer. I've always been touring. So that's been really unusual. And I think that out of all unusual circumstances, a great things can happen. You just sort of things that surprise you, or things that feel uncomfortable or not used to. It's good to be out in the comfort zone, be here, enjoy home, enjoy my family and my friends. Although we can't really see anyone because I don't hang out with anyone. Because of the, thing. Obviously, I think everyone has a small clique of people. They know where they've been, they have similar habits of being careful. I don't know that not many of my friends are like, partying away on Labor Day, like doing shots off of boats. So, I mean, whatever they did in Lake Havasu when they packed so it's been a different time. But I just really hope this vaccine thing comes through. It's so hard for us to know, it's like it's coming, it's not coming, the outcome is hard. So I don't know, it seems to be the only way to save us all, save the future. Or else I'll just be on here just cooking for you guys, like as long as you have me.
Bring it on. But you've still been able to perform, right? You just did a live stream. So
yeah, we did a live stream. It was pretty good. We set up in the studio for a week, and we had really good production. As I said at the beginning, we went to different outlets, and I also just did a beautiful version. Well, beautiful was Mike Garson. Bowie's piano player, Mike Garson, he asked me to do this thing for Music Cares. But obviously, a lot of musicians suffering and struggling. Same with the crews, but Music Cares is an incredible organization helping musicians get back on their feet. And he asked me if I wanted to do a song with him. So I said, can we do Wild as the Wind? And he sent me Bowie's version and Nina Simone's version. I was like, maybe it's being done. Maybe it's being done. I feel, no, we can't mess around with that. So I asked him if he'd done Heroes ever like that. So I said, can you do a really melancholic version of Heroes? It's one of my favorite songs. And so I sang that song and then did a little video. I think it's on my on my Instagram site page. People can check it out. But that was really incredible to do. And then he's played on a song called Undone, a ballad on my record. And so that maybe we'll do some extra track stuff and do deluxe. But working with Mike Garson was just incredible. Like after Bowie died, I sang with Bowie's band, did a couple of shows they're doing. I sang Unafraid of Americans. And so I was on stage with Mike there, and it was incredible. He's basically the longest serving Bowie musician and most incredible piano player. And so to have him playing with my voice was a real thrill. And, so I have been pretty productive, but I've also had the time to just not be running. And one thing we maybe all learned that we were kind of all like mice on wheels wherever we were. And like, what were we doing it for? We lost a quality of life that now we've probably got too much back. That and 10 pounds, the Corona 10. I think everyone's starving themselves now, so this is a good dish for that. It's not too heavy, but I've tried to make good use of the time. You know what I mean? Like everyone, whatever you're gonna do.
Well, what are your plans for the rest of the year?
The plans for the rest of the year now is to concentrate. I just signed to be on a hit parader, which was, I don't know if you remember that magazine. It's like a music magazine, and someone's bought it. They're revamping it. And they're having basically like a battle of the bands, and I'm doing it with Alice Cooper, Lizzie from Hailstorm, and it's like 10 days. I think it's on Amazon Prime, and we're just doing. So I'm going to do that and write my record. And I have this long burning idea of doing a cooking show outside of this. That I just got a production deal with called I Am Foodie. And I've been talking about it for a couple of years, but it's really hard to get things made. And I've been away so much touring, so we're pushing that. And that's like an interview show. where basically I would do this with loads of alcohol and one-on-one with someone that we want to find more about them. And that's what I've been trying to make for a couple of years, where I keep on like nearly making it, then working with the wrong people, didn't get it made, this and that. So now it feels like the right time, the end of this year, to make that, because I definitely want to tour before next year. And the other two TV shows that works, and writing my record. And the main thing, of course, writing the record. And that is, it's maddening because you can't, you know what I mean? It's just, basically I should always be doing it. You know, I can't really, you know, I'm not really into video games, but like if I was, I'd always feel like a bit of a jerk when I was doing it, because I know that if I've got time or I'm not doing something, I should really be writing something, I should be playing guitar. So it's just, it's like a nagging, you know, I know I've got to get it done. One of those people, I was talking to my friend this morning about it, like when I have to do something, Tom Waits said the way you do anything is the way you do everything. And so I got to do it. So now I'm not going to write the record. Now I'm ruined. Now every day I'm going to write something. Every day I'm going to do something. And so you sort of I get a bit manic about that stuff, because I think that I think of those great artists like Francis Bacon and Lucian Freud, and I always follow them. Tin Pan Alley, Picasso. They're all my muses for how they work. I mean, can you use them now? Anyway, they're my inspirations because they were just driven to work, and so I love that idea of to sit and write words every morning, just for a couple of hours. We start to amass a whole portfolio of words to use, and I think that thing of applying yourself, if you're professional, you just do it every day. You know, that's what we do. That's what being professional is. You know? It's not just sitting around waiting till, you know, oh, the sun is setting in the east, and like, you know, I feel all this fire right now. It's like the graft of getting in there when you don't even have. You think you don't have that much, but once you start, you know, you just find your way through. And it's that, I think it's that dedication is required, because you're sort of trying to get into people's brains and trying to get into people's hearts and lungs and minds. And, you know, so therefore you have to, you know, there's so much white noise for everyone around them, you know, their own lives, this guy going on, and people around them. So I feel good about this record, The Kingdom. It was really surprising to people because they weren't expecting a band, you know, this number of decades into their career to make such a vital record. You know, people were like, you'd be forgiven for doing like, you know, strummy nonsense, mid-tempo, acoustic-y, stuff like that. You'd be forgiven for doing that. Be like, yeah, it's cool. Now check out the catalog. We're really happy. And I like the idea of doing a record that destroyed the catalog. You know, destroy what made you who you were. You know, reinvent yourself. You know, think about it from a different perspective. You know, what didn't I think about before? What didn't I sound like before? And so I went super aggressive. I went super aggressive and kind of energized and detuned and wild. You know? So I died to play that live. And so I'm definitely, one thing I'm definitely going to do is I can't change my aesthetic for the next series of songs. It has to stay the same. Because I just like the idea of all the songs and new songs just being new blood, trying to get rid of the old blood. You know, like I give my strength to my boys, they grew up, they look amazing, and I'm feeling, you know, I'm going to fade away. My old songs not going to fade away. But I like the idea of these new songs just trying to hang with them, you know, trying to be like new kids on the block. And so I just got to keep that up and keep that going. You know?
What do your kids think of The Kingdom? Do they love it? Have any favorite tracks?
What I like about it is that it's slightly too heavy for them at times, you know. I said to my 14-year-old who's in a band now himself, Kingston, I was like, is it weird? Because normally it's like parents like, oh, shut that noise off. You know? And that's the cliche. And I'm always so upside down that it's like, I like music heavier than my kids. You know, they're like, oh my God, it's that. You know, like Sepultura is playing or Slipknot or something. But they do like Slipknot. So, no, they're into it. And it's funny because people have often asked me over the years, you know, when I got so many kids, but when I began, you know, first had kids, people were like, no, hey, has it changed the way you write? You know, like, you're not going to write about, you know, away in a manger or something like that, you know, part 2. And I just think that I was like, oh, that's a horrible idea for me. I didn't feel like writing about that. But what it does do, and is born out now as they become teenagers and more independent, is that you want it to be cool. Like he's in a band, like I would be destroyed if I made a really mid-tempo, sort of flaccid record. And you know, he's sitting there for dinner with his band, and everyone at the table knows that the record's as good as it could be. But instead, they just are like, damn, you know, we want to get a guitar sound like that. You know, that's what makes me excited. That's what keeps my energy going. And you know, I have an amazing band who, you know, an amazing guitar player Chris, an amazing musician Corey, and my drummer Nick is like an animal. So you have to just bring them animal food. You know, those songs are animal food. You know, they're not too, you know, it's not. Yeah, there's a couple of like soft moments, of course, because I like that. You know, I do like introspection as well, but I'm into making a really loud noise, and especially since I've been on stage for so long, I like it when the volume is insane. I'm not uncomfortable. I don't like uncomfortable shows, but just where it's just like gets you, the music gets you in the gut, and then you know, and then the words work your mind, and you know, people identify with it, and people kind of make them their own, you know, and especially these, like saying, the lyrics being so of the moment that people, I don't even belong to me anymore. You know, they went away a long time ago. As soon as that record's out, all those words belong to everyone. People, you know, write to me all the time, and got so much from that record. And people have been feeling so lonely. In fact, my friend, I went to school with this Professor Marina Hertz, and she's a really great old friend of mine. And she's just bringing out a book about loneliness and about how people around the world, everyone's struggling with loneliness. And it's really, it's just about to come out, so I recommend that. She's absolutely incredible. She's a professor of economics from Cambridge, and she's just a brilliant, really beautiful, married to this guy Danny, who's a TV producer in England, very successful guy. And she brought this book about loneliness because, you know, people have really been struggling through this whole pandemic. And it's funny to think it's September, right? I mean, I can't even relate to what the date is or that month, or like, wow, the year's nearly over, because this has been, we're all in sort of like on ice, we're on limbo. Well, maybe not on ice in California, because we tend to read outside, but you know what I mean? People just think like, no one knows what's going to happen. Everything's like at a standstill. People trying to make it work. I mean, in America, they're trying to make it work alongside it. You know, luckily, many places around the world have really lowered all the cases and all that stuff. But for us, we're still trying to just navigate through. It's a little bit crazy, right? But I don't know. Music's beautiful because, you know, you're making it, and it gives people a lot of solace and a lot of connection. And so I love it when people write to me and talk about the songs, or put their stuff on their stories, and put songs on there. And you really see what songs resonate with people, you know?
I think a lot of your fans here do that for sure.
Yeah. So that's that. Can I make you something else while you're here?
Make all of the things. We're hungry. Well, I do think we need to wrap it up. Is there anything else you want to share with anybody about cooking or the album? Your year?
Well, cooking is really beautiful. I love doing that. So no, I think I'm just blown away by the amount of support for the record from people that know us, people that don't know us, and I appreciate everyone who. It's all a network. It's all word of mouth, isn't it? You know, the record's out. It's kind of been, you know, how long will they last? But it's really fun when people turn me on to a good record. So I just appreciate all the people out there who've been turning other people onto this record, and it's really bizarre because it's really exciting. Yet it's a bit limited because we can't see. I think that first raw, we go on stage and go out and have shows. It's just going to be mind blowing. Because I think when the world, or especially in America, comes back together, it's going to be so beautiful. Can you imagine when there's no social distancing, when that is like disintegrated by the vaccine or whatever it will take? It's just going to be, I think the feeling is going to be so uplifting and so wild. You know?
We all need that for sure.
Yeah.
Well,
So,
Gavin, Thank
Yeah,
you so much for joining us today. We love having you, and hopefully you'll come back and do another cooking demonstration again.
all right. Well, thanks for having me. There it is, kedgeree, done by me. Good luck.
Done by Gavin. Thank you, Gavin, and thank you, Aston Martin Residences, and thank you again. It was good seeing you.
All right. We'll see you next time.
Take care.
All right. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.